guys, and happy Monday. So I hope you're enjoying spring. I know that I am. I've been planting flowers like crazy and wearing skimpy clothes. Life is good. Oh, this past weekend I got to meet one of my favorite Drag Race stars, Alexis Mateo. Bam! So for today's video, I want to address probably the most common thing that I get asked about, and it's my coming out story. I've kind of touched on it in previous videos, but not really in detail or anything. And going really in depth about it is something that I've kind of deliberately avoided because it's really hard for me to let my walls down and like show my vulnerable side. But all of you want to know, and who knows, maybe it'll help somebody out there. So here it is. So I first realized I was gay in the 5th grade. It was around that time that, forgive me for being so blunt, my adventures in masturbating were pretty much in full swing. And I found that it wasn't always girls that my mind wandered to. So yeah, that was a pretty big indicator. But you know, it was still something that I was figuring out. You know, I started going out with girls and everything. And it wasn't until about the 6th grade, a year after I'd had this on my back, that I finally told anybody about it, and it was my best friend. And this whole me being gay thing lasted for about 2 solid days when I found out that she had let it slip to her mom, and like, as soon as somebody else knew about it, it became like way too real. So I told my best friend that I wasn't exactly being serious and that it was a joke all along. Well, a couple years went by and I continued to date girls, but I was still wanting to date guys, and I don't know, I think it was around like the 8th grade, I finally once and for all come out to my best friend for real, and she was so absolutely supportive of me, and it was a great first step on my journey, and if it hadn't have went so well, I may have still been in the closet today. So round of applause for me for having the greatest friend in the world who, fast forward a few years later, lives with me now and is just on the other side of the wall watching Netflix. So it was like the start of high school. The previous summer I kind of hooked up with a guy, but we like swore secrecy obviously. And then in high school he started telling everybody that I was gay, but he didn't really want to tell everybody the full story, now did he? So that's when my kind of like downhill depression started, and I got bullied all the time, and I fought it and fought it and fought it and swore up and down that I was a straight guy, but nobody was taking it. And it was definitely the most miserable time of my life. It turned me into a straight up emo. I'm talking long hair and band hoodie. It turned me into a cutter, and I mean, it really did scar me for life. I mean, I'm over it now, but only as over it as you possibly could be, you know. So I was still denying it. The only person who knew was my best friend still. I was still dating girls on and off. And in about the 10th grade, I started dating this one girl. But I started developing more feelings for her cousin, who was a guy. And after some sleepovers, we started to hook up as well. So after not being able to put up with the guilt of cheating on her anymore, I finally ended things with her, and the things with the cousin kind of like fizzled away, which I was really sad about at the time, but I'm so glad it didn't happen now. And then it was the summer after sophomore year that I met my first boyfriend. And we were together for a year, and I was totally head over heels in love. And being so invested in a homosexual relationship, it's really where I started to find my pride about it. And though I wanted to, I couldn't really run down the hallways waving a rainbow flag just yet because he was closeted and didn't want anybody to know about us. So I had to wait. Eventually his mother found out about us, and it put a really big strain on our relationship, and we never got to see each other, so eventually we collapsed. I mean, I guess it's not really that fun for a bully to pick on somebody for being gay if they're celebrating about it. So fast forward a few years later, I've now graduated, I'm out of school, I'm like 18 or 19 years old. When it comes to my parents, after I got in high school, it wasn't really something that I tried to hide from them. It was just something I obviously never talked about or anything like that. And when the thought of coming out to them crossed my mind, it's not that I was scared of them hating me, it's just that I was scared that our relationship would change, and that's not something that I would want at all. So it took some braving up, but I finally did, and we were sitting on the couch together watching like America's Got Talent or something, and life had been going like really well. I'd been having a really good week, and I was perfectly content, except for I was thinking, you know, they technically still don't even know that I'm gay. And it was something that with each passing day began to weigh down more and more and more on me. So I picked up the remote and I paused the show and I looked at them and I was like, okay, you know I don't like girls, right? In silence. And then, what? And then question after question after question, and they got up and started pacing the floors. And they didn't really get heated about it, they just got really over dramatic.
Oh my god. Oh no. What did we do wrong?
So naturally, I retreated to my room where my best friend was waiting on me, and I told her what I just did, and she was floored, and she was so proud of me. Needless to say, for the rest of the night, things were kind of awkward in the house, and I got to a point where I was just really too embarrassed to handle it. So me and my friend got in the car and we spent the night at her house. And the next day I woke up and I had all kind of missed calls from different members of my family, and apparently my parents had outed me to my family. Those bitches! But all the calls and texts that I got were people telling me how much they were proud of me and how much they loved me no matter what. And some of the people I was really shocked about. There were a few that I expected to never speak to me again if they found out, and it ended up they were actually going out of their way to show me support. So I went back home and my parents were waiting for me and we had a long talk, and obviously they still love me. And I think when parents hear those words about their children, they kind of freak out because they think that like everything's gonna change. But you know, time goes on and they realize that who you love doesn't really make a difference in who you are. So I hope you guys didn't get too bored listening to me ramble. And if there's any of you out there watching who are too afraid to come out, let me tell you this. I was you. But I cannot begin to explain to you how much better my life is and how free I feel by coming out. And I'm going to leave you today with this last thought, and this goes for all things in life, not just coming out and such. Live your life based on what you want, because you only get one to live. And whose life is it? Theirs? Nope. Yours. And until next Monday, I will see you later.